Okay. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Wade.
Hi, Wade.
Hi, Wade.
Thanks, organized. Welcome. Let me do some check-in here. All right. So, hi, Mary Lou. You're back again. Welcome. Sandra, how you doing? Welcome.
Thank you.
See, Josie, hi.
Hey,
Back to back here.
yes. Just got another cup of coffee.
Yeah, me too. It's about all the time we had, isn't it?
Exactly.
Hi, Yvonne. Good to see you again.
Hi, Wade.
This get up is kind of addictive, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's a good way to spend the day. Let's see. Gloria, are you there? I see the snow.
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. Welcome. See, Becky, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, good. Welcome. Hi, Rosalind.
Hey, Wade.
You coming in? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Okay. Let's see. I've talked to Becky. I see Verna, you're here.
Good morning. Yes.
Good morning. Welcome. And Nelda, see you there. Welcome, Nelda.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning to you as well. Marjorie, looks like you're all connected in. Oops. Marjorie, can you hear me? Lost Marjorie. Someone's connected his iPhone. If you're there, oh, there you are, Marjorie. I see you. I can change your name or tell you how you can change your name if you want to unmute and let me know who you are. Let's see. Wynn, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Okay. Hi. Hi. Good to have you. Okay. If anybody's having trouble connecting, with either getting your video to work or especially getting your muting and unmute working, let us know and we can help you with that. You don't have to show your video. It's down at the bottom left. If you do want to show your video, we'd love to see you, but it's not required. I know it's still early morning some places, but you do need to be able to mute and unmute. So make sure you can unmute. That's one of the reasons I can call people's name. I just like to say hi as well, but to make sure I can hear you. So when you have questions, I know I can reach you. Anne, I don't think I've heard from you. Are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Okay, great. And you go by Anne or Annie?
Anne.
Anne, okay. I know in the registration it said Anne, so all right. And Sarah, you there? And it's like Patricia's coming in. So we usually take the first 5 minutes or so to allow people to get connected from other classes and also to get their technology working. And we're at the 5-minute mark here, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me check one thing here really quickly. All right, there we go. So I've got a few housekeeping things to take care of first. I'm going to go ahead and jump into that and give people another chance to come in. And again, if you're having any problems with your technology, let me know as well. We can take care of that now. Let me do that. All right. And I'm going to move your pictures around so that I can see your pictures better. And as I mentioned, I'm going to be muting everybody in just a minute, and we'll mute probably multiple times during the class. whenever background noise starts to pop up. So please do make sure you know how to mute and unmute. When you have a question, just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question. You don't need to raise your hand or anything. And I will also open the chat. So if anybody is having trouble with their microphones, you can reach me through the chat. Okay, let me just make it do one thing here. Make it your. Okay. Okay. All right. So, so I did mention that I got distracted to fix a couple of things here. All right. So I did open the chat. So if you're having trouble with your microphone, you can ask your questions through the chat. If your mic is working, please go ahead and just ask your questions out loud so everyone else can hear them and I can hear them as well. But the chat is open if you need to use that. And Michael is here helping us today. He will be monitoring the chat and let me know if anything comes into the chat, because sometimes as I'm teaching, I lose track of it over there. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Another couple of people coming in, but that's great. So this, the class is WhatsApp today. Use WhatsApp to make calls, chat, message, and more. So I do want to welcome everyone to the class. Thanks for attending. Hope you enjoy it. My name is Wade Yarborough, and I'll be the guide for your class today. Very briefly about me, I'm from a small town called Mason, Tennessee, just outside of Memphis. I have a degree in experimental psychology and taught at college a little bit, but I've actually spent most of my career installing and training users how to use healthcare information systems, primarily hospital information systems. And so I've been doing a lot of adult training throughout my career and still doing it, but I'm loving Get Set Up because the biggest difference is that people in this class are here because you want to be in the class, not because your employer made you attend or it was a required course for your college career. So it's nice to be teaching people that are interested in the class. And that's what we try to do at Get Set Up, is to create an environment where you can learn, but you can learn with other people that have similar interests and communicate directly with the guide, as well as with the other people in the class. So this session is being recorded, and any participant can request a copy of that recording. To do that, just send an email to help@getsetup.io. I'm going to put that in the chat as well. So if you don't have that already in your email contacts, put that in there. You'll be using that for a lot of different things. I'll talk about that some more at the end of class. We also are live streaming the class today, as we're starting to do with a lot more of our classes. So anyone that's joining us via live stream, we want to welcome you to the class as well. Thanks for attending. But also want to encourage you to go ahead and register for classes so that you can actually interact with the guide and with the other learners there to get the full Get Set Up experience. Finally, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any of the products that we train on. We are purely trainers. So let's look at the agenda for today. By the end of the class, you should know what WhatsApp is and why people use it, how to initiate individual chats, calls, and video chats, how to initiate group chats, what a broadcast chat is. So a lot we're going to cover today. And again, I'm going to go over some background material fairly rapidly here, but I do want you, if I go too fast or if you miss something or have questions or comments, just go ahead and unmute and ask a question, interrupt me, say, wait a minute, I missed that. So I want to make sure you understand and are getting everything we're covering. So what is WhatsApp? It's one of the apps that probably isn't as well known as some of the others. It's been around for a while. It's been around longer than a lot of the other messaging apps. It was founded in 2009. It was acquired by Facebook in 2014. Facebook actually owns the three main messaging apps, which is WhatsApp, Instagram, and Facebook Messenger. So Facebook owns all three of those. As of October 2020, worldwide users accessing the messaging apps, there were 2 billion people using WhatsApp, 1.3 billion using Facebook Messenger, and 1 billion using Instagram. So it's actually the largest worldwide. In North America, it's third out of that list. Facebook is definitely the largest in North America, and then Instagram, and then WhatsApp. So it's not quite as popular in North America as it is other parts of the world, but still a major app. So why do people use WhatsApp? And again, there's those three messaging apps, and each one sort of has its own niche. Instagram is all about pictures. And so if you're into pictures, Instagram is a great tool to use. Facebook Messenger, because it's tied into Facebook. So if you use Facebook, Facebook Messenger is a logical choice to use. So let's talk about WhatsApp and why people use it. And it's got a couple of reasons why people use WhatsApp. First, it's got the best end-to-end encryption of any of the messaging apps. So if you're sending messages and that are private, you're sending your financial information, personal information, you want to make sure that it doesn't get picked up by anyone else. WhatsApp is a great choice. It protects your communications from being read by anyone other than you and the recipient, including Facebook. Even though the message goes through Facebook's data center, Facebook can't read your messages. It encrypts everything: messages, photos, videos, voice messages, documents. Some of the other messaging apps may encrypt just the message itself, but it doesn't encrypt everything. WhatsApp encrypts everything. And which also means that WhatsApp can't provide your text or calls to the government or any other authorities. So if government subpoenas WhatsApp and wants to get copies of your messages, WhatsApp can't give it to them because it's encrypted. They can't unencrypt it. Just briefly talk about encryption. I don't want to get into this too much detail because it gets way too technical, way too fast. But basically how it works is that when you're entering a message on your phone to send it to me over here, it's encrypted on your phone, and a key is sent to me. That it's not delivered to the server in the middle. So
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
What is encryption?
Encryption basically means it takes that message and scrambles it and then puts it in a form that you can't interpret. So,
Thank you.
So that's what happens here on this phone. My message is encrypted. That's what the little lock indicates. So and stored here in Facebook's data center as encryption. So if somebody went to this file and looked at it, it would just be numbers and dashes and gobbledygook that's not intelligible. And then they forward that message to me, and I've got the key to unencrypt it, but only you and I have that key to unencrypt it.
Okay, thank you.
That's grossly oversimplified, but basically what encryption means. The other big reason, and probably even the bigger reason why people use WhatsApp, is that it's ranked as the best way to make international calls. So if you have friends overseas or other countries, you probably use WhatsApp. I don't use WhatsApp a whole lot. My wife has some friends overseas, and she uses it exclusively when she's talking with them because it works very well and it is free. In order to place free international calls, what you need is an active internet connection, because it's not placing that call over the cell phone lines like you would a normal call. It's sending it through the Wi-Fi, either through a Wi-Fi connection or through your mobile phone's data plan, not through the cellular plan. So you have to have a connection to the internet. The number you wish to dial has to be stored in your phone contacts list with the country code if you're calling overseas. And the recipient must have WhatsApp installed on their phone, which means you can't call a landline. So both of the cell phones have to have WhatsApp installed because it's calling app to app through the internet. But because of that, you don't run up any charges with your cell phone provider because you're not using that network. questions about the international calling? So those are the,
I have a question.
uh-huh.
Would this be then still a good app to use if, like, say my husband were traveling overseas and we wanted to talk to each other?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
That's kind of what it's used a lot. If you have family traveling overseas, if you're traveling overseas, you want to call back here, or if you just have friends overseas, any of those scenarios would be a good reason to use WhatsApp.
So if I would be calling his cell phone, then just the number that I have for his cell phone in my phone is sufficient. I don't need a country code.
Well, in that case, your country codes would both be one for the US.
Okay.
So, because he would still have the same cell phone number, even though he's in Germany,
Right.
and you're in the United States. And if you're calling someone that lives in Germany, you would have to have the Germany code in front of their phone number to get it routed correctly. So that those codes are important if it's a number that's registered in another country. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
If
I
we
have a
don't
question
the
for
app-
you. Oops.
Go ahead, Josie.
Does that take your data? It doesn't.
On your data, on your mobile plan, I think it does hit against your data, so it's better to use Wi-Fi if
Okay.
you've got Wi-Fi. But if you need to call and don't have Wi-Fi, you can use the data plan.
Do you have to switch them then in your phone? How do you know that it's going to take data, or it's taking Wi-Fi?
I think with the different phones and the settings, you can tell it to make calls using Wi-Fi if Wi-Fi is available.
I see.
I know on the iPhone, there's a setting that tells it, use Wi-Fi if Wi-Fi is available. If not, use something else.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of people now have unlimited data plans, so it doesn't really matter, but some people don't. I don't.
True.
I don't have the unlimited data. So, and if you want to be sure, you can even turn the cellular off and then place the call and make sure it's using Wi-Fi.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Wait,
For those
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Rosella.
most of us that don't have the WhatsApp app and we're trying to put it on right now, are you going to lead us through that? Because I've come to a point where I need to ask a question, but I don't want to ask if you're going to go through it.
I'm going to talk a little bit, but yeah, I can take the question then if there's questions.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead, Rosalind. I think you had a question. Let's cover
I
the
have
international
yes,
calling
I
first.
did. It was with the country code. Do it already have to be stored in with the number, or do you can add different country codes as you dial?
It needs to be in the contact for that person. So when you put that person's phone in your contacts, there's a place to put the country code. So it needs to be in there because you're not dialing the number from your phone. It's pulling it out of your contacts.
Oh, okay, great. I can call my brother in Taiwan.
Yep, just make sure it's in the contacts.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I have a question kind of referring back to one a couple ago about calling like a spouse out of country. Let's say you and your spouse go on vacation to Mexico. Can that be used? I was told if I went down there, I was going to have to get a different SIM card to get it to work. But can you use WhatsApp instead?
Yep, you could use WhatsApp instead because you're not using the cellular phone. You're using that app. So I think that would work without any other card. If you've got AT&T and you want to make the call through AT&T, then you'd have to get a separate card, I think. Not
So you do need
positive
it.
about that, but I'm pretty sure that if you've got a Wi-Fi connection and the WhatsApp app, then you can make the call just over the Wi-Fi.
And would you still have to go into your phone and add that one in there in order for it to work in the phone number?
Well, it's in your contact card, and it puts that in automatically. I think in most cases, if you go look at, so it's not the country where you are; it's the country where your phone number is registered.
Okay.
Good questions. All right, let's keep going and we'll come back because I think, oh, no, we don't have anything. So let's talk about, so normally all you have to do is go to the App Store and install the app. So somebody was trying to install it and I think hit a question they weren't sure about. What's the question?
The question is, I'm at the point where it says restore from iCloud, but it's telling me that I don't have anything restored in my iCloud. So do I skip restore now? Because it says if I skip it, I won't be able to do that later. But so is my next step to skip the restore since I don't have anything in the history?
It sounds like it. Have you used WhatsApp before?
No, I'm just installing it right now.
Okay, yeah, I would think so then, because if you had it and you deleted it and you were reinstalling it, you could pull from iCloud what was there before, but it sounds like there's nothing there to pull from iCloud.
Right.
So I think you can just skip that since you're starting from scratch anyway.
Okay, thank you.
And what you do have to do as part of the install, you do have to, it's going to ask for access to your contacts.
Yeah.
And you do have to provide access to your contacts because that is what WhatsApp uses to make calls.
Right.
So
Okay.
you don't register separately like you do with Facebook where you create a username and password. You do, but it's using your phone contacts. And I'll show you how that works in just a minute. And it'll make more sense than trying to explain it. But you do have to give them access to your contacts.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to start off just by showing you how to do a chat. You know, that's what most people are wanting to do, and then we'll kind of fill in some other gaps as we go along. But just kind of getting straight to the reason most people are here to begin with. So I'm going to click the WhatsApp icon here, and let's go into WhatsApp. And unfortunately, WhatsApp looks different between Android and iPhone. I'm using an iPhone. It has the same functions and features, but things are maybe in a little different place and with a different icon. I know what some of those are. I'll try and call those out when they come up. But if you're seeing something different and you're using an Android, let me know. And hopefully there's somebody else using an Android and we can figure it out. But it does the same things, but it sometimes it's laid out a little bit differently. Instead of being at the top, it might be at the bottom. And I know sometimes it's a different icon. But let's say you want to chat, and there's several different ways to do that. You know, the most common things that happen is that you're going to continue sending a message within an existing conversation. And so these are active conversations. These are people or groups that you've interacted with before. So if I've interacted with Michelle before, if I want to just add a new message into this conversation, I click here. And if you've used Facebook Messenger or Instagram, you know, they work the same way. So in this case, I'm just going to click here. And it takes me to this screen, which we're going to end up at this screen several different ways. And again, if you've used Facebook Messenger or some of the other apps, it's going to look very similar. That's the good thing about this. Most of these messaging apps, because they're all owned by Facebook, they're looking more and more similar all the time. So if I'm going to send a message, I do that down here. And like using your cell phone or using one of the other messaging apps, it looks pretty similar. You can add stickers, you can take a picture, you can do a voice recording. Now this is where with the iPhone, it has a plus sign. I think with an Android, it's got a paperclip over here. It is how you get into other things you can do. So I'm going to click the plus sign. Because we talked about one of the things you can do is you can send documents via WhatsApp, and those documents are encrypted. A lot of the other apps and most of the cell phones don't allow you to attach a document. So that is one thing that's unique here. So I can, and it will go to my phone. If I want to attach a document, I have to go and search for it through one of the services I can get to on my phone. And that will just attach that. Okay. Camera actually opens your camera. So I click there. It opens my camera so I could take a picture and just send that picture. this icon, and there's usually more than one way to get to that icon. But that's to get into your the photos and videos that are stored on your device. So if I touch that, it will take me in, and this has videos here as well as photos. So I can take a picture. Let's see. Trying to find one I haven't sent before. I'll just send this one. And it'll open a picture. And again, like a lot of the other apps and phones, you can crop it. You can put stickers on it. You can add text. You can use the pencil and actually draw lines. So lots of ways you can augment your picture, and of course, add a caption. And then just hit send. And I sent that message. Of course, you can just send text. You don't have to include pictures and emojis or other things. Very similar to sending a text with your phone. The recording actually records your voice. So if it's someone's birthday and you want to sing happy birthday to them and send it to them, you would just hold this and it'll do a voice recording. Again, most of the phones, the texting app does these same things. Questions about basic formatting and sending a text?
No, I saw when I downloaded it, it let me know all my contacts had already have WhatsApp.
Yep, I'll talk about that. Yep.
That's nice.
Yep, they make that pretty easy. Okay. I'll point out two other things here, which again are similar to Facebook Messenger if you use that. I can send a text to her. I can also do an audio call, or I can do a video call to her. So I'm not sure where she is. Let's see if I can get her. If you touch the video call, and if you use FaceTime on an iPhone, it works just like FaceTime, but I'm seeing my picture. She has her phone and answers. She may be driving. Oh, there she. Hey, honey, I'm in class. Just showing them how WhatsApp works.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
What time are you done?
12:30.
Okay, so are we gonna go to the pet stores then to get the new thing?
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Bye, darling.
Bye.
Okay. And then just hang up.
Nice looking wife, Wade.
Thank you. I think so too. So that's how a video call would work.
Can you go through that again, Wade, please?
Yep. So, and we're going to
Video
go through
call.
it 2 or 3 different ways to get here.
Okay.
So let me go back. Oops, not Instagram, WhatsApp. So let's go back out, because I'm going to show you several other ways to get to that same screen. So what I did that time, I just tapped here on the a conversation that had already been started. Okay. Let's say I want to start a new chat with somebody I haven't talked to before. So to do that, it's this paper and pen on the iPhone. I think it's a different icon on the Android, but up at the same place. If anybody with an Android, do we have any Android people today? Yeah. So I think it's the same place, but I think it's a different icon up there. It may be like an arrow, but it should be in the same place. But if you click that, that's where you can start a conversation with someone you're not currently, you haven't already started a conversation with.
On mine is on the bottom with started chat and arrow.
Okay, I thought it was an arrow and it's on the bottom.
Yeah, and it's moving arrow pointing towards the chat box,
Okay, all right. Good.
message box.
Yeah, 1 second, what, honey?
Because I was gonna take her down the road since we're gonna go at 12:30,
Okay, all right.
because you don't have anything canceled too.
Okay, all right. Okay, so and it should take you to something that looks like this when you click that. So there's several things here. We'll talk about all of them, but so these are the contacts. This is what we were talking about. So these are contacts. And what happens when you sign up for WhatsApp? It reads all of your contacts, but what it then does is it compares your contacts to the people that are signed up for WhatsApp. And it shows you in this list everybody that you can call because they've already got WhatsApp installed on their phone. So I can scroll through here, and if the person I want to call is in this list, if I want to start a call with David Haar, I could just click on his name and do that. We'll do that in a minute. Let me go through the whole list. Now, if you can also search by name, and I'm going to type a name here, and I'm going to type my brother's name. And he's in my contacts. He's got a landline. I know I can't connect to him with a landline, but he also has a cell phone, but he doesn't have WhatsApp. So I can tell here because it has the word invite here. So it says he's in your contacts, but he doesn't have WhatsApp. So for me to call him via WhatsApp, I can invite him. So I'll click on that invite. And what it does, it opens your messaging on your phone, and it will send him a message that says, let's chat on WhatsApp. It's fast, simple, easy to use. And it gives him a link. So he could touch that link and it would take him to where he could download WhatsApp and install it on his phone. So then we could talk to each other. So you've got all your contacts in there, but you can only call the ones that have WhatsApp installed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if they're on that list, then they already have it? Or those that say, hey there, I'm using WhatsApp, those don't have it yet?
No, they all have it. So everybody in this list has WhatsApp already.
Okay, so
So if they're in this list, you can just go ahead and call them. So like in this case, I look for my brother and he's not there, then I can search. And if you've got lots of contacts, you may just want to search instead of scrolling. And that's where you'll see the invite, because I'm now searching all my contacts, not just the ones that have WhatsApp.
I see. Okay, thank you.
Now, if you're new to WhatsApp, you just installed it for the first time and you've got a lot of people that maybe you want to talk with, down at if you go all the way to the bottom of this list, it says invite friends to WhatsApp. Everybody with me? So scroll all the way to the bottom. I'm always at the bottom of the list with a name like Yarborough. So if you touch that, you tell it, how do you want to invite the people? And you can do it by email or by message. I'm going to tap message. And it's going to do the same thing as before, but instead of doing it one at a time, you can just go through and say, I want to invite Tanya, and I want to invite Jeanette, and I want to invite Ken. So you can just go through and click everybody that you want to invite to join WhatsApp and then send them all at once. So it's faster if you're going to invite 5, 10, 15, 20 people. If it's just one person, it might be easier to do it the other way. So you have 2 ways to do it. Is that clear?
I have a question on whether the Android version is so different. I have WhatsApp on my phone and nothing I'm seeing looks like what you have on the screen.
Yeah, it is different. And I apologize for that. I'm not sure why they can't make one that looks the same on both, because most of the other apps do look almost identical between Android and iPhone. We're going to probably split this into 2 different classes. in the future where we've got an Android version and an iPhone version, because they are different.
Well, I'm on Android, a Motorola, and it looks like yours.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was pretty similar.
Yeah.
So who was that? Somebody was just saying that they're seeing theirs is totally different.
It's Gloria.
Yeah, Gloria?
Yeah, it's nothing like that. I mean, I can pull up a list kind of like what you have, but I mean, just nothing that looks the same as that screen.
Not sure what's going on.
Mine has a couple tabs across the top where it says chats, status, and calls.
You maybe have an old version of the app.
Well, that's what I was wondering too, if maybe I should just download a new version.
I would try that. I would, because they've made a lot of changes in it.
Yeah, it was just last June when I've only used it one time. I had somebody doing some computer repair and I loaded that, and it was just last June, so it's not even a year.
Yeah, that's one thing I can think is might be different. But again, since I don't have an Android, it's really hard for me to kind of troubleshoot what's going on there. So I apologize for that. We're gonna, like I said, I think we're gonna split this into two different classes because we've had this problem before. Even though most of the main features are the same, it's just how you get there is a little different.
Yeah,
So,
but it looks, so far I've been able to follow you because mine is looking exactly like yours. And I was surprised at what the pictures.
Yeah, that's what I've heard before from the people. It's just more, so let's go ahead and, so let's see, where am I here? So I've showed you how to see the peoples. Let's say I want to go ahead and start a conversation now with one of these people that's got WhatsApp, so I can just touch their name, or I can search up here and find them, either way. And it takes me really to the same screen we had before. I can text down here. I can do a video call. I can do an audio call. So the good news is this screen always looks the same. You got multiple ways to get to this screen. Once you get here, it's pretty much the same. Is everybody seeing that? Is everybody okay with that? So let me kind of go back that there's two ways. You can start with a conversation and that's what this main screen is. But if you want to talk to somebody that's not in this list, then you go up here or down here if you're on an Android and go to that new chat screen. That's what we're trying to get to. And then I can pick somebody else from the list, or if I want to call, I'll just put Bill. Bill DiCelli or Billy King, either one of them. I can just click there. I've never chatted with him before, so this is a new chat, but I can do the same things. I can text, call, video chat. So let's talk about group chats. So that's one of the other nice things you can do here. I'm gonna go back to the main screen, and I'm working pretty much just in this chats option. So if I've already got a group that I've talked with before, it works just like it does with a person I've talked to before. I've got a group called Canopy Team. If I want to communicate with the Canopy team, I just click that. And I'm back to the same screen where we've been before. It's just that I've got multiple people in that group now. So if I send a text, it'll go to everybody in that group. If I do a video call like I did with my wife, it's going to call everybody in that group. Now you can only call up to 8 people. So if your group is more than 8 people, these options won't work. You can only text. But if it's 8 people or less, you can start a video chat, which will look like a Zoom session. It'll call all 8 people, and all 8 people will show up on your phone in a different little block on your phone, but you can see everybody and have a group conversation. Questions?
How long can you have that conversation for?
So far as I know, there's no limit on that.
Oh.
haven't heard of a limit. So it's not like Zoom where you got a 45-minute limit. Okay, so let's go back and say you don't have a group. You want to create a new group and start with one. So here you tap new group. And you go and pick the people that you want to be in this group. So I want Carly and Vaden and Dave Haar and Barbara Now. So you just start picking the people you want to be in the group. If you change your mind and decide you don't want somebody in the list, you can click there and take them out of the group and add another person. And again, you can add up to 256 people into a group. So you can have an extremely big group. Just remember that over 8, you can't do calling. But if you want to just text, you can have up to 256 people. So then you click next and you give it a group. If I could type right. I'm not going to create this group anyway because and then you would hit create and it would then create that group. They would then be available to talk with like we were doing all the others.
And do you need a name for the group?
I think it does require a name. Looks like it does. It's an optional icon. You can put an icon in there if you want to take a picture and have an icon, but it does look like it requires a name.
How did he do that?
Yep. Yeah, please provide a name.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to just back up though and not do that. But then you would go into it and it would find it and you could just click into it like all the others that we've done. Questions?
Oh, new group here.
Do you just hang up when you're done?
No.
Was that?
Do you just hang up when you're done?
Yes. I don't know if you remembered, but there was an end call on the screen when I hung up with my wife.
Okay.
So yeah, you just click there. Now, anybody in the group can take themselves off. Whoever originated the call can hang up for everybody. All right, let's keep going. How are we doing for time? We're doing pretty good. If you created the group, you can touch the group name here, and it'll take you to the screen where you're doing the calling. But if you touch the name up here, you can go in and edit the group. And this is where I can add new people. So if I want to add another person to the group, I can click here and add more people. If I want to take somebody out of the group, I can take somebody out of the group. And if you're in a group and you don't want to be in the group anymore, you can exit from that group. You can take yourself out of the group. So that's how you maintain the group. Let me do that again. So you would just go into the group, Canopy Team, click there, and then click up at the top. And that opens basically the contact card for the group. And then I can go in and make changes. And the main things you're doing here is adding participants, deleting participants, or taking yourself out of a group that you don't want to be in. Now there's another thing called a broadcast, which isn't used as much. This is primarily for businesses, I think, but there could be some other scenarios where it might be useful. And so far as I know, WhatsApp is the only one that does broadcasts. So with a group, so if all these people were in a group, when you send a message, it sends it to everybody in the group. If anybody responds to that message, it goes to everybody in the group. With a broadcast, it's more a top down. It really was designed for business. So let's say I'm the manager and this is my team. And I want to let everybody know, hey, there's going to be a team meeting at 5 o'clock. I could send a broadcast to everybody in my broadcast list. They would all get that message. Each of them could respond back to me, but they can't respond to each other and they can't see what each other has responded back to me. So it's a lot of one-way connections, but instead of me having to send a text to each one of these people, I can broadcast it to a predefined list. Does that make sense? I mean, I could see it being used with a church group or a nonprofit if you've got people or even family members. If you want to let everybody know something, but you don't want to start a big conversation, you can do a broadcast. Oops.
Can they see if it's a broadcast?
They can see that it's a broadcast. They can't see what other people are responding is the main thing there. I think they can see who else is in the broadcast, but they just can't see what other people are saying back. So I could answer saying, got a doctor's appointment, can't attend, sorry. So the sender would know that response. These other people wouldn't know that response. So let me show you how that works. So again, we're going up into, anytime you're not picking something off of this list, you have to go to this paper and pencil, which goes to the new chat screen. Oops, hang on a second. I'm wrong. You do it from the main screen, from the main chat screen, where it has broadcast list right here. So from the main screen, you create a new group, or you can create a broadcast list. So, and it works very much like creating a group. So I'm going to click that broadcast list. And I've already got 2 lists out here. But if I want to create a new one, I just click down here where it says new list. And you go in and pick the people in the list, give it a name, works just like a new group. So you set it up and use it very much like groups. It's just that how it works is differently when you send a message. And you can't do audio or video calls. So if I go to this broadcast list, I don't have the option because it's the way it's set up. It's one way, it's not group. So you can't have multiple one-way calls going on. So you don't have the option of calling or video chatting. You can only text if it's a broadcast. Questions? That one's a little confusing.
Wait, I have a question.
Sure.
When you create a group and you just taking yourself out, can you go back to that group?
You can't put yourself back in. You could send a message to the owner of the group and say, hey, I want to rejoin, and they would have to put you back in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, can you go back and explain the broadcast list again, how to get there? I don't have anybody on my list yet, so I would have to create. So, but I don't see that broadcast on top of chats anywhere.
Okay. Are you on an Android?
No, I'm an iPhone.
Okay, so if you just go to the chat.
Oh, chat.
Click chat at the bottom. You should have broadcast lists here and new group over here. You see both of those?
Well, I am hitting the chat, but nothing's happening. Where do I go back to, like a home page?
Oh, just click status.
Okay.
And then maybe click back over into chat.
Well, yeah, I'll go into chat and it gives me a tell a friend about what's up or start messaging.
Click start messaging. I'm not sure. I don't see that screen, but were you the one that just set it up today?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So try that. The first time.
I did, and no, it doesn't. It doesn't go to. I don't see where it says broadcast.
Do you have new group and the pin?
Well,
Okay.
no, I just don't see that where it says broadcast. I don't see the page that says broadcast at all. But of course, I haven't done a group yet. But say I wanted to make a group a broadcast group, where would I start?
So you have to start here. And so what I watch my screen. So when I click here, it shows me the groups I've already defined, but then I've got a new list down here. So that's where I add a new one. So if you don't have any yet, you would still have this new list down at the bottom.
That's what that page is, the one I can't find.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on that you're not seeing that page. Sorry, and you may have to contact WhatsApp to see what's going on, or maybe start it over. But not being able to see your screen is kind of hard to troubleshoot it.
Right.
Yeah. And one last quick thing I'll show you, and then we'll take other questions. But there's something called a quick photo. So, and that's what the camera icon is down here. So if you're somewhere and you want to take a picture of something and send it to everybody, you could just take it with your phone, but you can also take it through WhatsApp just by clicking the camera, and it again opens your camera. You could snap a picture and send it to somebody. So it's just kind of a quick way to get into your camera.
How would you send it?
Okay, so maybe I'll do, so I click on the camera, then I'll just take a picture. And you can put a caption. And then when you hit the send, it asks you who you want to send it to. And you can send it to one or multiple people just by clicking the little box. If I want to send it to Michelle and Vaden, and of course I can search for more people up here. If I wanted to send it to Bill, and Bill's not in that list, there's Bill DiCelli, so I can click him. Now he's added to the list. So now I'm sending it to Michelle, Vaden, and Bill. Once I get the list of people, I just hit send. So it's a quick way to send a picture. I'm going to cancel out of this because I don't want to send that. All right. Open questions for anything either that I covered too quickly or something we haven't covered.
How do you mark the things with the, if you want to underline or mark, circle it, how do you do that?
Mark a what?
Whatever you are sending, if you want to mark it, circle it around some sentence.
Oh, yeah. Let's
showed it before, but I didn't understand,
Yes, let's go in and I can click the plus, and then I either take a picture and do this, or I could pull something off my library. So pull up a picture you've already taken, or you can take a picture.
Okay.
So I showed you a couple of these things. So this is where you can type something. So I'm going to touch the T, and it brings up my keyboard.
I don't see the T. Where do you see the T though?
It popped up when I typed that, when I touched that icon.
Oh,
It's basically telling me it's opened up my text so I can enter text.
Okay.
And then you can go back, and that's now in there, and you can move that around. So if, you can position it wherever you want to position it. So I touched the T, and then it highlighted it, let me know I'm in that text mode. You can also get a pencil. I think this is what you may have been asking about. So if I touch that one, see, it's going to highlight that pencil, and I can pick what color I want it to be. So I'm going to touch up here around the red, and then I could just use my finger and draw. So I change the color. So that's how you can draw. So this is text, add text, and this is draw on it. And then this is where I got to the stickies. little stickers. Okay, is that what you're looking for?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to discard that instead of sending it. And we are pretty much out of time. I got 4 minutes to the end of the hour. So let's go ahead, and I do want to thank you for attending and hope that you enjoyed the class and learned some things about WhatsApp. There's a lot more to discover there, but hopefully you're comfortable going in and taking a look at it a little bit more. There are a couple of related classes. I mentioned the other 2 big messaging apps, Facebook Messenger and Instagram. So we have classes on both of those as well. And a couple of classes that I've got coming up is Amazon Alexa and all about privacy on Facebook. If you're a Facebook person, this gets into a lot of details on privacy. If you're new to get set up, I want to make sure you know what's going to happen after class. So after class, you'll get an email. There's some class notes in there, and a part of that is links to one or more websites with information. Some of it overlaps what we talked about today. Some of it is related, but information we didn't cover in class. So that's a good way to do some additional research if you're interested in learning more. There's links here to 3 different classes. So if you're interested in taking one of those classes, you can just click that link. It's a shortcut to register for the class. There's a give feedback link that opens our feedback form. Really simple, 2 questions. Basically, rate the session 1 to 5 stars, rate the guide 1 to 5 stars. You can add comments, not required, but greatly appreciated. I hope you will take a couple of minutes to tell us why you gave us the evaluation you did. And then a general feedback section down here. Want to go back to the help@getsetup.io and make sure that you have that down. We would use that if you want to get a copy of the recording. And as I said before, make sure you include the name of the class and the date so they can confirm that you did attend the class. If you don't get that email after class within 24 hours at the latest, send an email to help@getsetup.io. Let them know that you never got the email from the WhatsApp class, and they'll help you figure out what it is and what's going on and get you a copy of that. And also, if you're interested in getting more involved with Get Set Up, we're always looking for people to host interest groups and social hours. So if there's something you're interested in that you'd like to get together with people and talk about on a bi-weekly basis, that's what an interest group is. For instance, I noticed there's not one on organic gardening. So if you're an organic gardener, you'd like to talk to other people, share ideas and problems you're having, we would help you set that up. The last link in the email is View Schedule. And if you click that, that takes you back to our website where you can book a class. And as probably you've all noticed that the website has changed quite a bit. I did mention that we're live streaming our sessions now. And if you're new to that, that's what the TV is down here. This is new with the new version of the website. So if you just want to drop in and watch a class like you're watching it on TV, you click here. This is the Advanced Zoom for Zoom Hosts class that Donna teaches. So if you're watching, it is like watching TV. She can't see you in the class. She can't hear your questions. So, to really experience the class, you need to register, and you actually can register for that class from down here. But if you just want to get an idea of what a class looks like, you can always watch it on TV. All right, so we are at the bottom of the end of the hour. Any questions about the new website or any problems anybody's had? All right. If not, I do want to get you out in time to get to your next class. So I want to thank you again for attending. Hope you enjoyed the class as much as I did, and hope I see you again in another class really soon. Thanks for coming and have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Wade.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, Wade. I just wanted to ask you, because I have tried to download WhatsApp on my phone. And it's not downloading because it says that it's not compatible. So I don't know what else I can do.
What kind of phone do you have?
I have an Android.
It's an Android.
Yeah.
And so you downloaded it from the Play Store, I think it's called, in Android.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you've-
I downloaded.
do you have the one that looks? Sometimes there's more than one out there, so make sure you've downloaded the right one. But there's. I'm gonna
But it's
share
not downloaded. It's not downloaded anyway. It's not downloading it because it says that it's not compatible.
The only thing I know of is that some of the is it an older phone?
Yeah.
Okay, I did see that they've dropped some of the older versions because they've made some enhancements to the app, and it doesn't run now with older versions of iPhone and Android. So that's probably what's going on. You're going to have to upgrade your phone before you can get to it. Is what I'm guessing.
If I upgrade my phone, then I can. If I upgrade my phone, you mean?
Yeah. Do you have the current version of the operating system on the phone? I would check that, and you probably need to talk to your phone vendor or your or contact WhatsApp. But I'm thinking it's either your phone model it isn't supported or the operating system version you're on isn't supported.
So the model of it, it says it's a software version. It has an Android version. I'm in the setting here, reading it, and the model number.
Yeah. And I don't know which versions. I just remember reading that as of the 1st of 2021, they were dropping support for older models and operating systems. So I'm guessing that's what happened. Probably the best thing to do would be to contact WhatsApp, and they could tell you if that's what's going on.
How do you contact WhatsApp?
I think if you go to their website, www.whatsapp, it probably will give you a link to where they are. Let me check that real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go to, let me share my screen again real quick.
See, I have had Viber.
If you go to the website, they've got a help center.
Yeah.
So you can maybe find the answer here, but if not, you can contact them. So try that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Hope that works.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.